I want to play you some sound. So this is really fascinating. Joe Scarborough over on MSNBC, he's had some kind of massive change of heart. It's like sort of schizophrenic. Because if you recall, the narrative that Joe had, it was one of Republicans are bad and Kamala's amazing. Remember this? I mean, this is just, ladies and gentlemen, this is just less than 24 hours ago, right? He was talking like this.
We still have an electorate, 70 million plus, that will be voting for a man who said he was going to assassinate for treason the chairman of the Joint Chiefs because he didn't support him on January the 6th, who has said just in recent days he was going to execute Liz Cheney with a firing squad, 9 guns pointed and shooting at her face. A man who has said that he was going to shut down CBS because he didn't like how they edited an interview. A man who said he was going to be a dictator from day one. A man who said he was going to terminate the Constitution. A man who said he was going to use the army and he was going to use the National Guard on his political opponents. I literally could go on all day. And yet you talk to Trump voters and they'll go, he didn't say that. Wait, now I didn't hear him. And then you say, well, here's the quote. And then they'll go, yeah, he didn't mean that. So there's something far more long-lasting than just Donald Trump, the candidate. There is a sort of Russian embrace of disinformation, a radical devaluing of truth over the last 9 to 10 years, and a complete ignorance on civics and what the term Madisonian democracy even means, what checks and balances even means, what judicial review even means, what the rule of law even means. How do we as a nation, even post-Trump?
Okay, all right, I've had it. I can't listen to him anymore. But you get the point, right? Like, he's part of the cabal, along with, you know, his co-host, who's now his wife. He's part of the cabal that was saying, you can't think differently. You're not allowed to think differently, because if you do, you're part of the problem. Because he's a Nazi, he's a racist, he's a sexist, he's a fascist. That was Mika was over on The View saying, you need to understand, this is fascism. I mean, don't forget, we had him for 4 years. I didn't see any fascism. But what's crazy to me, and I can't wait to play you this clip, what's crazy is what Joe is doing now. The host of the Morning Joe program, the signature MSNBC liberal, lefty show that was calling Trump all these things and his supporters all of these terrible names, somehow has just overnight miraculously turned into a Southern conservative? Are you kidding? I mean, look, I'll believe it when I see it. Either that or you're that Machiavellian that you realize the handwriting's on the wall. This is nuts, you guys. Watch.
That stacked on top of what happened on college campuses this fall, stacked on top of what's been happening on college campuses over the past 4 or 5 years. I have said this on the air, and every time I've said it, people said, oh, you're just saying that because you're a white conservative. No, I'm just saying it.
Whoa. He's now identifying himself, interestingly, as a white conservative, and he's starting to complain that there's no free speech anywhere.
Because every Democrat that we have ever sat down with dinner with...
Mika looks like she wants to kill him.
...for the past 5 years who have kids that go to colleges say their kids are afraid to speak in class because they'll be canceled. Yeah. Let me say that again. And they're all Democrats. Everybody that we've had dinner with, if they have a kid in college, you can go, how are the Red Sox going? Yeah, fine, yeah. So they're eating. Oh, beautiful day today, wasn't it? Yeah. You know, my daughter at University of Virginia, she's afraid to raise her hand in class because if she says something that's politically incorrect, she will immediately be canceled. She'll be shunned from class. She'll be destroyed in social media by noon. So they just sit in class quiet. Now, if any of you, which camera? Give me a camera to look at. Boom! Oh, look at that one. If any of you out there say, oh, that's just like a conservative, white, Southern guy, da-da-da, that's what you're losing. That's what you're losing. Because that's what I heard. And I didn't hear it from Republicans. I didn't hear it from Trumpers. I heard it from Democrats over the past 3 or 4 years. Their kids were afraid to talk in class and say something unpopular because they would be canceled.
Because we are living in a crazy fascist-style world that you guys were totally okay with, until it turned out Kamala didn't get the gig. What is that about? I mean, again, I'll take it. Like, you know what? I'm a big believer in kids being able to actually have honest intellectual discussions in school and not be so terrified they're going to be canceled. People are terrified they're going to be canceled at work. Hello, I have been canceled at work. Thanks to you guys, I'm here. Reminder to subscribe, to share, to like. I am here no matter what. I'm not going anywhere. I mean, that's the beauty of working for yourself, right? I know what that's like. We're living in a crazy time where that was okay. And if it were up to Letitia James, or frankly, I know she's talking a good little talk right now, Kamala Harris, but if it were up to her, there would be more of that. So I, for one, am relieved. Joe Scarborough does sound schizophrenic. If you ask me, I think his wifey was like, what are you doing? Because, I just went on The View and told them all about fascism. But we are hopefully moving into a new time and a new climate that I suspect actually can be enormously prosperous. Rob and I just came out with a note actually on 76 Research. If you're not at 76 Research, go over there to 76research.com. You can get the free stuff. We just published a whole note on this because there are so many opportunities. You see the stock market? We're up 1,500 points there on the Dow. You've got the market closing at a new high. You got the S&P trading up 2.5%. You got Bitcoin soaring. Guys, this is the time, okay? There are opportunities out there right now. And it's because you're gonna have some adults in charge. We're gonna have some good people, some smart people running the economy for a change, as opposed to people that, I can't even call them socialists or communists. They're just bureaucrats. They didn't understand what they were doing. I mean, I'm sorry, you put Jennifer Granholm in as the Secretary of Energy, a woman who doesn't even understand how energy markets work. That's not flying, okay? It doesn't work. And they just didn't understand anything. It's like they weren't talking between the Energy Department and the State Department, because you might think, just saying, that you might want to pump a little bit more oil before you cut Russia off with its natural gas so that you don't have crazy high oil prices, unless that was the intention, because she wanted everybody to buy an EV that they couldn't afford. Speaking of EVs, I mean, look at how they treat Elon. He's the guy who created the entire EV industry. There are opportunities. This is going to be really, really good. I mean, I'm looking forward to it for the next 4 years. I want you to invest in it. Go over to 76 Research because we can guide you through some of that. We have 3 portfolios. We're working on a 4th there. And if you get the Founders Club, you get all the portfolios plus any additional portfolios that come your way. The Founders Club, best option, but if nothing else, just get the free stuff or sign up for $1 a month, just $1 a month with code word dollar.